and what he means to the human family. It shows in your personal commitment to him and as baptism in a trusting and penitent faith. This is a glorious thing to see. You don't need to know everything about Christ, but you're saying whatever it is you need, that Christ is the very one that will give it to you. Ask in my name, he says, and I will give it to you. While you don't know all the specifics of how your life is to be lived out, you know you're giving yourself to him as your Lord. And your life will now be lived in light of that, and better as you get to know him better. Your baptism is more than personal commitment to Christ. It is a personal confession, because you are confessing what is objectively reality and truth. Your commitment isn't simply something you believe in, but a proclamation of what is true, whether you believe it or not. If you never came to him, it would still be true that he lived, died, and rose again to immortal glory and lordship. Baptism doesn't belong to any individual, and the individual does not give baptism its rich, complex meaning. It's much bigger than that. Maryellen commits to what baptism already means, independent of any individual. You are becoming a part of that great truth of who God is and his commitment to the entire human family. When Christ calls his disciples to take up their crosses, he's calling them to identify with him, his agenda and his method. We don't have crosses that are independent of his, and each believer is a part of his body, is born crucified. It is the death and resurrection we unite with, and it's on his cross that we are crucified to the world and all that it stands for in opposition to God. It's in him that we live a new resurrected life, because he's the one who lives in us. When Jesus says to them, you are to take up the crosses, he's saying they are to deny themselves and their agenda, embrace his, and a personal commitment to him. His agenda and his method is what baptism actually means. Baptism means what God, in and as Christ by the Spirit, has determined it to mean. And we didn't come up with it, but he gave it to us as a gift. It means that Christ's life, death, and resurrection to immortality and lordship. And it means that the person of faith enters into union with all that Jesus Christ is and stands for and purposes for humanity. Believers do that by being baptized in Christ into his death. And so now in the living hope, they look for a personal and actual experience of the glorification he currently alone enjoys. Their personal experience of resurrection and immortal glory is a believer's assurance that his dwelling by his Spirit, Jesus has come, that all at the right hand of God is exalted. He is alive and is the source of our life. He helps us to enter God's presence, not like we enter a room, but in a spiritual union and relationship. And having brought us into God's house and presence, he continues to teach us how to be more and more at home in that house. This is his promise to you, Maryellen, and he takes his promise seriously. It means that the elect of God has passed from the realm of the old man and Adam as a single representative of the human race that has followed in his steps and come under the holy and righteous judgment of God. They have come into the realm of the new man and the last Adam. You will no longer be in flesh but spirit. God, with a steadfast heart, Father, make us like yourself. Fill us with the power of a single purpose. Deliver us from 1,000 scattered little loyalties and make us like him, whose solitary purpose was to do your will in the loving rescue of wayward humanity. Forbid us to be at the mercy of a multitude of little voices, making the demands on our time a trivial pursuit. Bless us with wisdom to know the difference between the weightier matters and the law and the narrow duties. Ennoble us, won't you, not only to recognize but to seek above all thy kingdom and thy righteousness. Bless our resolve with kindness, lest we run roughshod over bewildered but honest hearts who have not yet found their place in life with you. But do bless us with a sweet ruthlessness that we will, with conscience clear, sweep aside the hindering trivia and do the king's business. God bless you.
I'd like to give you that in writing.
I'll print it for you.
I'd really like to have that in writing.